and we're ready to continue to bring you the resources and materials that you need in order to continue recovery. So, we're ready.
Thank you so much. Again, I think part of this press conference, not only just for the announcement of money, but also to really show the vibrant partnerships we have, the vibrant relationships, and that's what really makes not only Cocke County special, but Appalachia special as well. So we would now want to move to the other side that greases the wheel, so to speak, that helps things move, and that's our state and local delegations. With that, I'd like to ask Cocke County Mayor Rob Mathis to step up for a few words.
Thank you, everybody. It's truly an honor to be here, and it's wonderful to be here almost 10 months after the floods hit, to be talking about this kind of help still coming into our county. This long-term recovery group is an example of how great things come from small seeds and how sometimes wonderful things come from terrible events. I remember this group, the seed for this group was 3 people and a telephone in the days after the flood up at the Emergency Operations Center. It was Michelle Lane, Julie Mason, and my wife Missy Mathis were making phone calls to try to find partners to help distribute food, water, and clothing to the people in need across this county. And it has grown to a county-wide organization now that has now receiving $1.8 million to help people, to help our residents, our businesses, and our farmers and cattle growers here in the county. This is all private money. Money going to private individuals, locally owned businesses, and local farmers and cattle growers. This is amazing. And also, this 1.8, when you add it to the efforts that the Cocke County Partnership has made, this makes a total of more than $4 million that now have been raised to help our local citizens, our local people, to get through this, not just get through the disaster, but to get back on our feet, and for, just as this group named, long-term recovery. And so I just want to thank each and every one of you for that. Thank you for the partnerships. Thank you for the work that you're putting in. Thank you for the volunteering. And when you think about it, the money is just a small part of the process in this. This doesn't. There's the $4 million plus. Then there's also all of the effort that has gone to it, the blood, sweat, and tears, the other resources, the volunteer hours. It all comes together. And just as Director Duckett said, that is how we're going to come back stronger than ever. And we're stronger than truly prove that we are, in fact, stronger than the storm. So I just want to thank you all. God bless you. And as always, you have our full support. And we're going to get through this together. We're going to keep on going. Thank you. God bless you.
So certainly at the local level, mayors experience a lot. Obviously, it's not anything you think about as you're running municipalities or counties. So with Mayor Mathis's efforts, and also Mayor Dykes and City Administrator James Fincham, they had a lot of work to do. So with that, I want to ask Mayor Dykes to come up for a few words. And the best part is he wasn't planning on speaking. He walked in and he's been voluntold. So, all right.
For that, George. Yeah, I wasn't expected even to be here. Technically, I'm still on vacation. But in any case, when I saw the announcement that this was going to happen, I had to be here. So there were a couple other things I had to do this morning at the Development District in Knoxville, so I decided I'd come on and try and do whatever I could and say whatever I can. I don't know what I can say other than what's already been said. Everybody that's in this room contributed in some way, maybe except for me. But I'll say that because during the time of that flood, I was actually lying in the hospital bed having undergone surgery that day. So I'm lying in the hospital bed trying to figure out how I can help. And, but with all the cooperation in the room and everybody that was here to assist and help, they got me through it. And, I was able to assist in some small way. But in any case, I'm so glad to see what's happening here today, because it really illustrates the kind of partnerships and the kind of resilience this community has. We've gone through a lot. And, I told someone the other day that I was away for a while. My career took me all over the place for about 30 some odd years. I came back and I felt like it was Groundhog Day. I'm experiencing the same things over and over. But in any case, what I've seen in the last 10 years, 11 years since I've been back, has been a great improvement over the way things were when I first left. I'm so proud of this community. My family is from here. We've been here for a long time, and I'm proud to see what's happening and what has all just happened here today. Thank you so much for being here, and hopefully we can continue this progress and this momentum going forward. Thank you.
So, as Cocke County and the city of Newport continue to grow and become stronger, volunteers are great, things are great, but what it takes is state level, national level folks to carry larger parts of the weight. So with that, we've got our representatives here, our state representative, state senator, and I know both of them have been very active through this, and a lot of stories to share. But as with everything, in particular with state awards, we really count on them to continue to carry our torch and support us. And so with that, I'm going to ask State Rep Jeremy Faison to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, George. George, the next time we do this, can you make sure I do not follow one of the best mayors in all of Tennessee, and certainly the best dressed man in all of Cocke County? Thought we were in Cocke County, and I didn't know we were downtown. Daryl, George, Dr. Lloyd, thank y'all for doing this. Before I have any remarks, I'd be remiss to not mention our fellow Americans in Texas. That, I don't know if you're keeping up with it, but they are experiencing every bit of what we experience and more, and that'll rip your guts out right there. Government doesn't get it right often, and Steve and I, sorry, Senator Sheldon and I hear that often. We get emails every day about how we voted or this or that, and people comment on social media about they don't like how we said this or voted this or blah, blah, blah. But it's rare that you ever see the truth of there's so much more that we do than just take a vote. There's so much more that we're a part of than just taking a vote in Nashville. And I wish that people would, I beg people all the time, you'll rarely hear me speak where I'll say, hey, take ownership in your capital. Come up there, spend the day with me. Several of you have been up there with me. Dr. Lloyd's been on the House floor with me. George has been there with me. I want people to see so much more than what the news media or social media wants you to believe. It goes so much deeper than that. So I thought I asked my wife, I was like, you think it'd be all right if I just kind of give them a synopsis of how this money even got here in the first place? And she said, do it. So if my wife says it's okay, I'm gonna just stay here. So during this storm, speaking with Mayor Mathis, watching everything going down, helping where we can, seeing this, I started to realize, working with Tima, on the phone with Tima every day, I realized there's money coming from Tima. But that money coming from Tima has an ungodly amount of straps on it and red tape on it, and some of you are like, oh boy, and because it's associated with the federal government, who rarely ever, if they, that's just a cabal if there was. So with all this money that comes from the federal government, flows through the state government, it is a nightmare. Steve and I are talking, all of us who represent the 9 counties who are hit are like, there's money that we need directly for our people. Because who knows, it might be 5 years from now before we actually see money get here from FEMA. Let's hope not, but if we're being honest with each other, that's how it goes. So as we, thankfully, I've been in a position that I'll meet with the governor regularly. I'm on the finance team. We started telling the governor, we need some direct appropriation. We need help at our farmers, our local businesses right downtown. There are people that FEMA and TEMA aren't going to touch, but their lives are wrecked. I don't know if you realize this, but there is not a time in Tennessee history where a natural disaster took place like this that we had a special session and appropriated direct funds just for the people who were hit. Now, we set up a precedent. We set up $100 million for this going forward, But this has never happened for what we've done. But that's what took people like Senator Southern and myself sitting down with the governor, with all these people. And at first, this was the first number. This was in December. I'm meeting with the finance team, governor's team, and they said, well, we think maybe $50 million would work to start out with. And we're like, no, but 50 million, what? We can't even begin to touch it. And so through all sorts of negotiations, talking, showing, bringing the governor here, bringing his staff here, having private meetings here, showing, listen, guys, we need help. United Way, they need help. Our little businesses, I actually have a list of everybody in Cocke County and Newport who got some money. If you'd like to see it, I just sent it to George. We got a huge share of that. That takes people like Steve Sell and myself go and say, hey, we've got to have help where it is. And there's not a better group of people to help than those of us right here in Appalachia. And it has just been a pure joy to see the love pouring out here. I would encourage all of y'all to pay it forward for our friends in Texas if you got a little love that you can share with them. But as for purposes of today, this is a good day. And I'll tell you this, it's just a start. This is the first round of funding. There's more money. And Steve and I have constantly been pounding. I don't think government can make us whole, but we can do better than we do. So anyway, my name is Jeremy Face, and I've had the awesome privilege of being the state rep here for the last 15 years. And Deborah just sent you there. It makes me think, nobody in Nashville, when it comes to this money, says, well, are we giving money to Democrats or Republicans or this or that? We're giving it to Tennesseans. We're making sure that we're responsible with your money, with the people's money. It's not ours. Government doesn't have any money, except what they take from you. We just send that money right back and say, hey, how can we bless you? Let's make sure we're helping the business, the small businesses, the farmers, the ranchers, the people who are handling our trees. Let's take care of them. So anyway, this is a good day for Cocke County, and it's the first round of George.
For cleanup, we have a man that I have no idea how many miles he put on his car during those several months after the flood. I hate to say, I think most of his districts were the ones affected, most of his area. And I'll tell you, through all that, never a time where a call wasn't answered or wasn't down here trying to see what we needed. So I have learned a lot about what it means to care as a legislator from this man. So I'd like to introduce State Senator Steve Sullivan.
Well, just in October alone, it was over 5,000 miles. You know, but I would like to thank Governor Lee. You know,
Yeah.
He was willing to sit down and listen to Jeremy. You know, and Jeremy's very influential. Both of us sat down and talked, and he was willing to listen. So we want to thank Governor Lee for listening to us. You know, this is a beautiful area, and when we look at this here, this is not the last part. This is not the first part. If you look at, now you've got Interstate 40, the damage over there, but what have we done in the past? Look over there at Wolf Creek Bridge, Bridgeport Bridge. I remember when they wouldn't even let a school bus go over Bridgeport Bridge, you know, then Wilders Bridge. So we have been working on the transportation system for years. This is my 23rd year as a representative. But just think if we hadn't replaced those bridges, you know, what would happen? So commerce kept traffic through. And when we look at when this hit, well, constantly with Rob. I was on the phone with Rob, several phone calls a day, you know, and Darrell, appreciate you, you know, all the hard work you've done, and then Mayor Rob, appreciate, you know, all the hard work, everybody working together, and that's what it takes. Everybody work together, hand in hand, as a team. From the Sheriff's Department, fire hall, everybody was working together, and that's what Tennesseans do. When times get tough, we get tough. So thank you for allowing me to serve you, and this is just a small portion of the money that's coming. There's a lot more coming this way. Thank you.
before we'll have an opportunity for some questions here in a second, but I just want to wrap up by saying, I really hope that not only the folks in this room, but if you see this or read it in the paper, you understand that, again, this is a special community, a special county, a special place, and none of these legislators, none of these politicians are here for a photo op. They have been knee-deep in it with us the entire time, and I think that's what makes this special. Volunteers, community coming together, and worrying a little less about self and more about the community. And I think that's what makes up the great spirit of this county. So with this, a great announcement and more good work to be done. So thank you all for coming. And with that, if anybody has any questions for any of our guests, please feel free to fire them out. Anybody any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just wanted to clarify how the money will work. Will this be given to, like, individual homeowners, for example, or business owners, for example? Or will this be used for services from the long-term group?
Who wants to take that?
So the way these funds will work is that they will be used to pay for the resources that are needed. This is not direct financial assistance that we're writing checks to individuals. This will be, if somebody needs gravel, we're ordering gravel, paying for the gravel. If they need debris removal, then we'll be hiring the contractors to do the work. Are there any other questions from you while I'm up here?
Good job.
Yeah, I think one of the blessings in our area are the natural resources, but with all this destruction, it certainly has become an issue. I know the county has taken over 1.2 million cubic tons or so of debris, I think, and there's a lot more that has to be taken. Is that
1 million cubic yards.
cubic yards? Oh, that's right, not feet, yeah, yards, yeah. So you can tell, and that's just a small portion of the damage, and we've got a lot more to go. So with that, individual homeowners, as homes are destroyed, taken out away, and then the rebuild. And this is also in conjunction with, as Spring had said, about 50 partners that are working to rebuild homes and volunteer in our community. It completes the process. Any others? Well, heck, we got off easy. I appreciate y'all for coming. Thank you so much.